Welcome to Screen Riot, the show where we let fate choose the movie we review. This week's movie is the 2010 Western, The Warrior's Way. This episode will contain major spoilers, so if you haven't seen the movie, it's available to stream on Cinemax or rent or buy on iTunes, Amazon Prime, Google Play, and more for $2.99. Go check it out and come back to the podcast, because this is Screen Riot.
Welcome back to another episode of Screen Riot. So this week's movie was Eddy.
Yep.
Couldn't think of your name for a minute there.
It's okay.
You did it to me in the other podcast. No,
Yep.
Okay. So this movie was your pick this week, and your genre was, I'll say, quote, Western.
Yes.
And so you picked The Warrior's Way from 2010.
Yeah,
So, quick question. Have you
Why?
ever seen this movie before?
I have. I've seen it twice.
So
before
you did this
movie.
on purpose?
I did.
Okay. I was just curious about it.
Yeah.
So, The Warrior's Way, would you like to give a brief synopsis of what it's about?
It's about a guy who's an assassin for like a ninja clan, is the
Yeah.
way I can describe it, in somewhere. I don't think they ever say Japan. I think it's just in a place.
A different country, we know.
Yeah, it's like insinuated that it's probably
it's
overseas.
Yes, I mean, it's insinuated that it's implied that it's
yes,
Japan, probably,
not
but
necessarily,
yeah. Anyway, so he's of one clan, and he's basically given a task to kill all the members of the opposing clan. And when he goes to do so, he kills everybody except for a baby girl, and he just can't bring himself,
the last remaining member of that clan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he can't bring himself to kill that little girl, so he essentially defects from his clan.
He adopts her.
Yeah, in a sense, he adopts her. But he ends up defecting from his own clan at that point, and then leaves for basically America, the Badlands of America, to meet up with a guy that also used to be an assassin or something.
I was kind of confused on that.
Not
a little
clear.
Bit.
Yeah,
not clear.
It's a slightly interesting premise that has a very weird execution. Is the only way I can put it.
So wait a minute, Mandalorian?
Kind of.
It's very Mandalorian.
That's a good call. In a weird way, don't bring this movie up notches on my scale here, but that's kind of interesting. That's how you're getting there.
That's the first thing that I noticed. It's like, oh, there's a baby and he's not gonna kill it. So, wait, has this been done before?
Wow. Yeah. Apparently,
Mandalorian.
I didn't
actually
even
know
know all those connections.
This is actually before Mandalorian, but
Yeah, and then all the people are trying to get to the baby.
right.
So yeah,
and he's trying to defend it,
Right.
because he's trying to keep it alive.
Yeah, so that was something that you didn't say in the synopsis. Was that his old clan?
Yeah.
They are trying to actively kill him and the baby.
Yeah. And they apparently can hear his sword or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
There's some
that
weird
didn't make
stuff.
sense to me either.
Well, it's a fantasy.
Yeah.
This movie's a fantasy.
Right.
It's a Western, but it's also a fantasy. And I was looking up the tropes thing, by the way. You have a mysterious warrior, or, in most Westerns, it's a gunslinger. In this case, the gunslinger happens to carry a sword instead of a gun.
Right.
You have a girl, and not necessarily a love interest, but it's a girl. And then you've got good versus evil. Those are like some of the big Western tropes that are being carried over here.
Yeah.
I picked it not because it's a great movie. There's some interesting stuff in it that I think is kind of good that they do. There's a whole lot of bad. There's a whole lot of bad, but there's some good things that they pull off. But I picked it mainly just because it's an offbeat Western. It's not.
It's definitely not your cookie cutter Western.
Yeah, it's not
At
Clint Eastwood or the Duke,
Right.
John
John
Wayne or
Wayne.
anything like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I mean it's a different take on the Western. That's
Yeah.
why
That's true.
I looked at it. Yeah,
For sure.
it's not going to be a great score. Foreshadowing here. Spoiler alert, it's not going to be a great score on this. But I found it. I do find some things that they do interesting. So
There's only a few movies out there that, like, maybe the first 45 minutes into it, I'm like, okay, where are we going? Mm-hmm. Like, I'm really confused. I'm not really confused, but it's just, can you just show me already, like, where we're going?
Yeah.
Because it's just showing me images, and I'm like, okay, what's the plot? Where does everything line up, and where's the battles take place, and like, what's the issue? Because when he actually beats everybody, he's like, now he is the I like
The
that.
greatest swordsman.
I love that.
You did like that?
That was funny.
I hated that.
The text over it. I thought it was pretty comical.
It was
like,
comical, but that's
It's
the,
funny
that's why I
because
didn't
it's
like
out
it.
of place.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it's comical just because it's out of place, especially when they put the text over his opponent first.
Yes.
And then he killed him,
Yeah.
and then the text was applied over him.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's the greatest swordsman ever.
And then it has that beat, and then it says ever.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But see, and okay, so I didn't like the text over. I didn't like the text over, but I do like that manga style shooting that they did through quite a bit of the stuff that happens with Japan and anything that happens with the ninjas. They take on this like Japanimation style that I kind of like.
Yeah, the anime type stuff.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
when he's just maybe a split second of like slinging himself through this crowd
Yeah.
of bad guys.
And you see like pink mist.
Yeah,
You know what I
and
mean? I kind of I like that. I thought that was, again, for a Western, I thought it was a really interesting way of shooting it. The when the Sad Flutes, who are the assassins that he belongs to, they're named the Sad
The
Flutes.
sad flute.
Did you catch why they were named the Sad Flutes?
Yes, it
Yeah,
was
'cause-
because when they slit their throats,
Yeah.
you know, when they deflate, they sound like a sad flute.
Yeah. That's kind of a okay. Not that sound, but I kind of like the name. I kind of like the name. I mean, it's one of those oxymorons in a weird way. It's like you expect it. Like what assassin team do you belong to? We belong to the stomping giants. Who are you guys? We're the slitting angels. Oh my god, who are you? The sad flutes. like you just don't expect it.
We play very sad music
Yeah.
with our flutes.
And then they tell you it's because of the sound. It's the sound a slit throat makes. You're like, oh, that's kind of
Okay.
dark. It's
That's
kind of
a little
dark.
dark,
Like,
yeah.
yeah,
It's
that's
kind of
dark.
badass. Yeah.
But when the sad flutes are all showing up in the town and they show up rapid fire
On the roof.
on the roof,
Yeah.
I thought that was badass. I was like, okay, that's cool. So much more of this movie is not that shot, but that shot was kind of cool. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
I mean, I
agreed.
did think the scene they tried to do some cool stuff in that scene with the lighting and the gunfire
Yes.
towards the end. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, yeah.
That was all right.
Yeah.
But the sad flutes are deadly
Mm-hmm.
to themselves.
Yes, they are.
I mean, how many jumped in front of that machine gun?
A whole lot.
I mean, I'm thinking, okay, these guys are stupid.
Well, the thing is, they may have not have seen a gun before
That's a good call. I didn't.
because-
Because
But wait a second.
because they just deal with just blades and swords. That's it.
Sad flute number 1 jumps up there and gets blown away.
Yeah.
All right, number 2, now your turn. See if it's different. Nope. Okay, 3, 5, 6, 7. I mean, come on. At some point,
Same result.
At
Same
some
result.
point, insanity.
So here's the thing. I think I will say this, John. And I'm not defending this movie, but with that mindset, I think the idea is that they are mindless killers. They are insane. They have one.
They have a goal. That's
Think
it.
stormtrooper, right?
Yeah.
How many stormtroopers make completely ridiculous decisions, but they're just going for the obstacle. They're going for the not the obstacle.
The baby. They're
No,
they're
what's it called though? It's a
The goal?
Shit, yeah, the goal. The main thing they're going on. They're focused. They're not looking at anything else. So I agree with you. It makes no sense whatsoever for normal people to behave that way. But these aren't normal people. These are psychopaths. Like that's the idea, I think. Now that being said, it was comical. And that's probably my biggest complaint with this movie is that there's too much that's comical. Kate Bosworth in particular is fucking annoying through most of this movie.
Yeah.
If her story wasn't as interesting as it was, I would hate her character in this movie. I already don't like her as an actress in the movie, but her character at least saves why she's there.
Well,
She was probably trying to be like what, Calamity Jane or something like that.
I don't know.
It's like
she
a
was
mix.
Just, she was
Yeah.
annoying.
I didn't see her shoot a gun.
No, she just threw knives.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
so I don't know. I didn't understand I first of all, I don't even understand this town.
it's a very strange town.
I mean, the town. They don't. Why is this town why is this circus in the middle of the desert?
yeah. So
So it's like
They told the
Mandalorian
story,
meets
yeah.
the Freaks,
Yeah.
yeah, kind of.
meets Spaghetti Western, meets Samurai Jack.
Yeah, that's a good call.
That wishes it was Seven Samurai.
See, I had a
Yeah.
more. It's 300 meets Kill Bill meets the American West meets Dog Poo. That was my.
Ooh.
Yeah, I could see that.
That was my interpretation.
So I'm gonna stay with Kate Bosworth for a second though. I think if you got rid of her and put in another actress who wasn't trying to be so annoying, the movie would have been 50% better. Honestly,
I can buy that.
She to me ruins this movie because the silent,
Yeah, I can see that.
semi-silent guy. It worked for David Carradine for like 15 seasons of Kung Fu. I think you can be the strong silent type and it worked.
Sure.
But her character is just so overbearing and so just annoying as shit. But the story that's with her, with the Colonel, where he's going to rape her, and then she throws bacon grease in his face and or potato grease or something. It was potatoes cooking in bacon grease. She throws that in his face and burns the shit out of him, and now he's this mangled, psychopath, disfigured guy going throughout the West too. That saves it as far as a character for me. If that story didn't exist, the whole raping, burning people with grease thing, I would do anything to just have her be out of this movie. Because again, I think that she really ruins it. Because there's some strange, suspension of disbelief things that you have to do. Like, why the fuck is this circus in the middle of the desert thing?
Right.
Yeah.
The way they were explaining it was that they were trying to form a town and they were trying to make an attraction.
They're trying to drive people to it.
It was a theme park.
Yeah.
It's what they're doing. They're trying to make a theme park in the middle of this desert.
Well, yeah, and there was that scene where there was a group of people sitting on top of the Ferris wheel, and they could see the train passing, like the people train. It's just passing by.
Yep.
And they're hoping that one day that the train will actually have a station here.
Yeah.
And people will come and actually flourish in the town, and the town would flourish.
John was asleep during that part.
Yeah.
I missed that. They must have did it in dialogue.
No, I mean they did it. It was on screen.
No. I saw the train.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember seeing the train. It just went over my head. That's. I don't know. Maybe this movie was too deep for me.
Oh no, it's the exact opposite. The movie is incredibly shallow.
But the cuts were real. The cuts were deep.
No,
sad flute type.
Speaking of the sad flute cuts, explain to me how what's the guy Yang
Yeah.
can kill people without touching them.
Which people did he kill?
Well, he did it so fast
Yeah.
to the naked eye that
Is that what it is?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's just he's just unbelievably
Think the
fast.
Matrix.
Well, because right
Yeah.
there at the beginning though, he had those like 6 or 7
Yeah.
warriors coming up behind him, and all he did was like just point his sword behind him.
Yeah, right.
Like
I think that's just
get
the
it.
typical like Japanese samurai. He's so fast that it's just a quick unsheath and resheath of the sword, and then like everybody's dead.
Yeah, they've done it like Kill Bill. Think Kill Bill. Like Kill Bill, there's whole scenes where you see like the unsheathing real fast, and then
everybody dies,
and then resheath, and then and then everyone's still standing, and then they all fall down with like they're all
Right.
bloody
Well,
and shit.
right?
I guess what threw me was the slowing down of the scene.
Yeah.
Because they did the slowing down of the scene to see the blood go slow.
Right, like the
but
blood
if
spray.
If everything is slowed down, then he should be slowed down as well.
Yeah.
Therefore, yeah. I don't
Don't bring logic to this movie.
know. I'm trying.
Well,
not
He's
to,
faster.
but-
He's faster than their fake slow mo.
I was about to say he's faster than their frame rate they recorded in.
What I was gonna say too, this was done too. Besides the Matrix, the movie The One with Jet Li, which is also not an amazing movie, but Jet Li at certain points in that movie is like he's moving so fast that everybody else looks slow mo. Think what's his name too in the latest X-Men Days of Future Past and all those.
And you had it right. It's the
like
Matrix.
The Matrix, the bullet time
with
stuff.
Keanu Reeves, and he's moving so fast that everybody else is moving super slow and everything. Yeah. So
But there's a scene in the one where Jet Li basically kicks the shit out of like 6 sheriff's deputies in 14 seconds, and he's doing all these insane martial arts moves and shit, and everybody's moving in super slow mo, and he's moving in like normal speed.
Right.
Is all I could describe it as.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, it's just mind bending as well. I don't know. It's again, I liked some of those effects that they did in this movie. I wouldn't say that it was enough to make this movie good, if that makes sense. Again, it's one of those where I look at it as it's not bad enough for me to delete it off of my list.
Yeah, there was one scene though that they tried to slow everything down, but I think they forgot to up the frame rate in their cameras because I think they shot it at 24p.
Yeah,
but it was like
what was
slowed
the
down.
Oh, it's because it was all afterthought.
It was I think it was Yang and Lynn, Kate Bosworth's character.
Yeah.
They were fighting against I think they were fighting against somebody. I think the Colonel maybe, but everything was super slow mo.
Yes.
That I'm like, wait a minute, is the frame rate like, is it bad? Is this a bad, what's going on here? Why did they slow it down this much that makes everything jittery? Like, it would make sense that if they were recording it at like 240 frames a second.
Well, yeah, because
then
then you
like,
have the data to slow everything
right,
down.
and then you can actually have a smooth slowdown. But it was like everything that was slowed down, they thought about it in post. They're like, oh, this would be so cool to be slowed down.
The actors got so good and so fast
Jesus.
that our puny Earth cameras couldn't keep up.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, I will say this though, it's possible. It's possible what you're saying as far as like they didn't plan it, but this movie feels heavily planned to me. Like there's certain effects and shit that they're doing. Like I don't even know what it's called, where everything
Green
kind
screen?
of it's green screen, but it's green screen in a way that it looks 2D. Like everything is expected to look 2D. Like when you're talking about they're sitting on that.
And that's bad because it doesn't have depth.
No, I know, but they're doing it for an effect. It's like I'm trying to think of the name of this. There's some animated movies that do this as well. It's like it's a type of storytelling. It's like
it's
an
almost, animated graphic novel.
Yeah, but it's almost like a paper mache or something. Like you're seeing like little paper figures do stuff. And
because one scene that I thought was weird, I thought the town sign was fake.
Yes,
but the background was fake. It was green screen.
Yeah,
and the sign looked
painted.
2D. It looked like part of the background.
Yeah,
it was so part of it.
Yeah,
that it just looked weird.
Super arty.
Yeah,
yeah,
very
and that's
arty.
why I'm saying I'm not saying that they didn't fuck up like what you're saying, Justin. I just think that it's very possible that they did that on purpose. They made it extra jittery on purpose. Look, it's there's nothing else in that movie that's not super planned. It's so arty and pretentious that it makes a movie that's supposed to just be an action movie and a Western unwatchable.
I mean, there's a specific shot when I first noticed it. It's towards the beginning of the film where we see Yang, is that his name?
Yeah.
Yes.
Profile, and he like looks up. I think it's after he killed all the people or whatever.
It was before he went through the 6 people.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Okay.
Whatever it was, before or
Yeah,
after.
yeah.
But he looks up, and they try to dramatize it by slowing it down.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's just it's jitter as he
His
looks
face,
up.
it was not like that action hero smolder.
It wasn't Michael Bay
Like-
slow-mo.
But this isn't supposed to be Michael Bay.
I know,
I
but
know.
I'm
Yeah,
saying
yeah.
he's just known for his, wide sweeping slow motion stuff.
I don't know.
I just feel like it was an afterthought, and that annoys me about movies.
Now this director, have you looked him up?
Nope.
Snugmo Lee. That's really bad.
What's his name?
Okay, SNG.
Smeagol from
That's what I was like.
Lord of
Smeagol
the Rings.
ravioli. Okay.
So SNG. So Sierra Nevada Golf.
Okay.
Mo or Moo.
Oh, Shingmu.
Shingmu.
Smingmu Lee.
Snigmuli.
Smingmu Lee.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
I think he's Korean, right? That sounds like a Korean name.
Yeah, I don't know where he's from, but like I was trying to look at the other ones. He wrote Scarecrow. Yeah. Did he even direct anything else? Oh,
No.
he wrote. Okay, so he directed Scarecrow as a video game, and then another short. So like this is his only feature film that he's directed.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. So since he directed a video game, so he's. I mean, he could be
Thinking of everything in 2D.
thinking of
This is going to look
everything
great on the TV screen. Like the whole
Yeah,
time.
I don't know. I mean, he just probably has a fascination with like anime and like how everything. Because I know there are certain scenes in anime that does do like the jittery
Yes.
stuff. I mean,
now that's an animation style.
right.
But that's what I'm saying. I think
Do you think he's trying to replicate that?
I do.
I think
I do.
I don't.
Okay.
We have to
just
agree to disagree.
Talking about it, yeah, I can kind of see where he's coming from on that style, but it just does not work. It doesn't the translation is lost in that.
What was that?
Yeah, no, and here's the thing. I don't disagree with you whatsoever. I think I'm fully agreeing that what he was trying to do and
Yeah,
what
it
actually
just doesn't look good.
executed, he didn't pull it off.
Right.
You know what I mean? But what I'm saying is, in particular with the jitteriness, being an accident, I don't think it was an accident. There's too many things in this that are. Geoffrey Rush's cowboy pants are an accident. Like that's a fucking.
I thought
Train wreck.
the sides of his cowboy pants had
Yeah.
reflectors on them,
That's
like
what I'm
what you
saying.
see on
So
the
bad.
road. Those big road reflectors.
Yeah.
That's what I thought, but they were like big buckles or something like
Yeah,
that on
Jeff-
the side
Jeff-
of his
So let's
pants.
talk about Jeffrey Rush.
It was a poorly placed. That's what I would say about Geoffrey Rush.
I don't know how he was in this.
I don't either. The only thing I could think of is that it came out this movie came out the same year the King's Speech did,
Okay.
and he just was a working actor going, yeah, give me a role, I'll take it.
I'll take the town drunk that's also a sniper that gets drugged through the town by a sadistic cowboy.
Yeah, and I mean,
That old role.
Sounds good.
And there's something too. I would like to think that he's just a good guy. He's like, okay, you know what? Every so often I will do a terrible movie just to
See, I think
just to help out some filmmakers.
I think
here.
the exact opposite about Geoffrey Rush. I think he's a douche in real life. I don't know. For some reason, I don't know the guy for anything. He
Yeah, I
just
don't really know.
seems like a dick to me. But I'm basing a lot of it off of the movie Quills. Did you ever see Quills with him?
No.
No,
it's excellent.
but you
He
can't
plays the
judge
Marquis
an
de
actor
Sade.
off his acting, his personal life off his acting.
Totally with you. But did you ever hear obviously if you haven't seen it, the story between him and Kate Winslet, I believe was the actress in that movie. They had a really, really bad recording experience.
Oh, really?
And, yeah, and it was a lot supposedly because of Geoffrey Rush's how he was on stage or on set.
set.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I don't know. That's just the rumor. I have no clue if it's true, but
I've never seen a guy go from completely drunk to being handed a sniper rifle and miss all of his antique booze.
Well,
He must have hit the reset button.
he didn't have
Maybe.
the DTs.
it was
Yeah, I didn't have any detox.
it was motivating, okay?
I
I don't know, man.
I guess you do sober up quick when your prized possessions are downrange.
Well, so Geoffrey Rush, there's another Western that I could have picked, but I didn't. Quigley's Down Under, right?
Okay.
And this, to me, Geoffrey Rush in particular,
It's actually on my list.
is absolutely Tom Selleck in this movie. He's once he becomes a sniper, it's the same laughable type of, because Tom Selleck is awful in Quigley. Come on, he's bad in that movie.
Yeah, but he's not drunk.
You're right, but I'm talking about in terms of like yeah, buddy, what's
same
going?
180
Like yeah,
that
I
he
mean,
does.
well, and it's just such a laughable, unbelievable role for that actor. It's just not believable. You know what I mean? And he's got this very badass rifle, but the whole time he's using it, I don't know. It's just funny to me. It's a funny movie.
Oh.
What's his name? Hans Gruber. He's in Quigley's Down Under too. I'm trying to remember his real name.
Alan Rickman.
Alan Rickman.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ, thank you. He's excellent in
R.I.P.
Quigley's. Yeah, he's excellent in Quigley's Down Under, but Tom Selleck just doesn't pull it. For me,
Quigley.
Geoffrey Rush in this one, yeah, not good. Danny Houston was the star.
I think so too.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
He was kind of a scene stealer to me. Like anytime he was on screen, I was like focusing on whatever he's doing, saying,
even when he was
looking.
wearing the apparently plastic face mask in the whatever year this is supposed to be. In.
Yeah, which we were talking about the earlier,
Yeah.
like what year because they don't ever establish it. We were thinking
It
it's
has
gotta
to be very, very late 1800s.
Yeah,
very,
early
very
1900s.
early 1900s. It's like the break of the century or whatever
I would
it is.
say if I had to throw a year out, I would say I'd say between 1870 and 1880 because Danny Houston's playing a colonel from the Union Army.
Right.
And they're in the Badlands of whatever. I would say it's probably like 1875. Like it's just a ballpark number.
Right.
Especially everyone's traveling by train and stuff. There's
you
not
gotta look
mention
at-
of cars.
You got to look at too the record player and stuff for
Yeah,
it
it's a
to
gramophone.
actually it
Yeah.
actually to be there. It's got to be at least in the 1880s to 1890s.
Does it?
Yeah, because they didn't actually change from the cylinder, the cylinder record or whatever it is,
Yeah.
where the actual needle goes on.
Yeah.
From that to a flat disc, I think until after like the late 1880s, something like that. But I actually found
Yep.
this on IMDb.
1887 is what it shows here. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So and like the movie has to be like in the 1890s because for something that's groundbreaking technology to be
Yeah.
in this podunk town that nobody knows about.
It's a good point.
True. Yeah. Good point.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
good point. Yeah.
But yeah, here's I found this image on IMDb of
Danny Houston.
Danny Houston and the director. That's pretty much how the movie all was. It
Yeah.
was
It's
just
a
complete
giant
green screen.
Yeah. Well, but okay. To be fair though, so is every what is it?
Every
Action,
superhero
every
movie
superhero
now,
movie
yeah.
now. Avatar, the new Avatar, is shot completely the same way. I mean, like, don't get me wrong. I'm not putting this movie on Avatar's level by any means, but at the same time, all these movies now are fucking green screen.
Mm-hmm.
You know, most of them. I just think it's funny the few things that this guy tried to do, that the director tried to get done, most of them failed. Most of them, right? Yeah. The only thing I think he was successful at was pulling off a few of those more, like you said, video game style effects. That's the only thing I think he was really successful at. And Yang keeping his mouth closed. That was the other thing he was successful at. Because Bosworth is just a mess, and Geoffrey Rush doesn't make any sense. I actually liked 8-Ball. What's his name?
Yeah,
Tony Cox. I actually liked his character. I don't like him.
Super racist, but
yeah, but I don't like him in movies ever. And in this movie, for some reason, he doesn't bug me.
Oh yeah, because he was in Bad Santa.
He's in a bunch of movies. He's always an annoying little shit, and I hate to be that way, but he is. In this movie, though, he doesn't have that character at all. He has like a.
Right.
But when I saw him, I was like, oh shit, he's gonna be like the same little rude fuck that he always. No, he was actually heartfelt, and he was doing nice things for people, and he basically sacrifices himself for the kid. I mean, he's doing a lot. I was like, okay,
good job. That scene when
he was too good, and he had to die.
That's right.
His acting was too good.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm gonna have to kill you off. Your acting's too good. But you know, even when he exalted his last breath.
Yeah.
That whole scene was slowed down, and it was like jittery and everything.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, stop using that effect. It just doesn't work on film.
And you know how I know it wasn't on purpose? Because it only happens on halfway through the shot.
Mm-hmm. Oh gosh, it's like they ramped down or something.
Yep. They sure did.
Didn't notice that.
Yeah,
so,
as when he's talking,
mm-hmm.
it's fine. But when he breathes his last breath and the body collapses or whatnot, it starts jittering.
In like a decade, I'm gonna have to go back and watch this and see if you guys are right.
Yeah.
In a decade,
I don't watch this, but like I literally watched it twice in 10 years, and I'm good. Like I don't need to watch it.
I don't need to watch it ever.
Probably
ever again.
First and only time I'll watch it. But you know, going back to Danny Houston, he is I would say the typecasted bad guy. He's like he's the bad guy and everything, and he does it really, really well.
Well, he makes me think he's a real shit in real life.
Yes,
like he makes me. I think he's a real asshole in real life.
He's the backstabber that tries to screw up everybody's lives.
Yeah, they're like, "Ooh, harness that, put that on screen."
Yeah, exactly.
And another good actor, completely not in this movie or relevant in any other way, except for he's a really good bad guy, is Billy Zane. Mm. Billy Zane's another one who can be just a complete asshole.
Billy Zane's a good bad guy, but Billy Zane to me is the Eric Roberts of bad guys. Like to me, he's a B actor. Like I know he was in Titanic and he's had other. He was the skull superhero.
Punisher?
No, Punisher. The one that was in the woods, the Phantom. He was the Phantom back in the 90s. He's had a couple of big movies, but he's just such a weird one. He's got like, you know what? He's like Vince Vaughn. He's got like one tone that he hits, and he just hits that one tone. Now, granted, he hits it well, but it's just his one tone. Eric Roberts is the same way. Every time I see Eric Roberts, I'm like, oh, well, this movie just took a shit. Eric Roberts is here. Like, I thought it was an A-list movie. Was wrong. Here comes, oh, look, it's Kathy Griffin, too. This is perfect. It's Kathy Griffith. Excuse me. So I don't know. The Billy Zane is he's an interesting actor. I will say that. I agree with you on that in particular, but I don't know.
So do you think this movie was wanting to have a sequel?
Oh, God. Yeah, probably. And anytime a movie does that, I think it's a death wish. Anytime a movie does that, I'm like, nope, it's not a good thing.
At the very end of the movie, when he's walking away in the sunset, which, I mean, looks shot for shot like Mandalorian, like the actual movie poster.
Listen, I agree with you completely. I never made that connection, but you're right.
It's straight up Mandalorian. It's crazy.
Which makes me wonder, should we actually like the Mandalorian less because they obviously stole a lot from this movie that was made 10 years ago?
Right? I don't know. I don't know if the director of Mandalorian has a little sweet spot for this movie.
That's strange, yeah.
Get Favreau on the phone.
Yeah, right, yeah.
He talked to him and he's like, the best movie I've ever seen was The Warrior's Way. Like,
click.
It explains so much.
No, but like, they could have ended it really well on that scene where he's the lone warrior. He's out to fight the rest of the people. Instead
they go to Alaska or something. And
and then he stabs the guy with a
fish.
And I'm
frozen
like,
fish.
Wait a minute. I thought the movie was over.
Mm-hmm.
Can the movie be over, please?
Well, first of all,
I
that
agree.
apparent from what I've read, that type of fish doesn't even exist in that environment.
A swordfish?
So there's that.
No, it was
Waka waka.
Wah, wah, wah.
I'm happy about that one.
I can tell you are. You're over there like
You're just
you
giggling.
guys, yeah, you can't
You're
see
turning
it.
red, laughing so hard.
He's had this
But,
joke for 3 days.
but
Oh, it's called a garfish.
Oh.
Is that he got stabbed in the eye with a gar? Is that what it was?
Yeah, it's
Kinda
also
small
known
for
as a
gar.
garfish, half breaks or half beaks, and baleo. The fish occur only in warm temperature tropical waters and not found in subpolar regions.
Right. Ballyhoo, by the way.
Baleo, I'm
Ballyhoo.
sorry.
So real quick, so the problem we have now is that the fish at the end that he stabs a guy in the eye
It's
with.
not canon.
No. Hold on. I just wanted to let the listeners know that the fish
Any fish
shouldn't be
experts
there.
out there, yeah,
So there's that. But
definitely see
then
that.
here's what I think.
Sure.
I think they shot it right, and they played to an audience with just the ending at the sunset, and the audience wasn't happy with the ending, so they tagged on this Alaskan wilderness fish fighting scene.
They listened to people like me. It was like, but I want to see him like destroy everybody else.
Oh, man.
Like, can you continue on?
This is when those focus groups are not needed
And,
right here.
Exactly.
and I'm going to quote a review here, real quick. A must-see for people that want to see something different. I enjoyed it very much and look forward to watching it again. And the ending leaves us with the opportunity for a sequel. Ooh. I truly hope that comes to life because I would be first in line. I want to slap this person.
Who is it?
You and
It's a dude.
Just
only
some random.
only you.
Yeah.
It's not me, by the way. I would
Yeah,
never.
no,
yeah,
no,
I
no,
would
not you.
never.
No.
No.
Now, I think, and I have a general rule. Anytime a movie sets up for a sequel, like look at the second Matrix, right? It's set up for to have the third Matrix.
Sure.
It's not a good movie. Like
Right.
it's just not. Like the whole movie, you feel like, oh, this is gonna happen, and then this is gonna happen. Instead, they're like, here's a little bit of climax. But then we'll see you next movie, okay? Another $14.95, and you can see the climax that you should have seen in this last movie.
Well, see, if they
It's
prepare
just
me
silly.
for it, I'm okay with it.
Really?
Well, yeah. If I know going into it,
Yeah.
like Lord of the Rings, the trilogy, right? I knew that the second movie there was going to be a third movie, so the second movie had to end on some arbitrary place. I wasn't going to get a good feeling at the
Because
end.
they're books, right?
No, they made he's right. It's because they were already filming the third movie, so it was
Yeah.
Okay, so you already
to
knew
me-
filming
yeah.
was going on.
I just
Okay.
don't like whenever they cut a movie. To me, it feels incomplete. Like you should have Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, and there should be a wrap. It can still have an opening for a third
Yes,
movie.
no, you're right.
Without being this like gaping wound of an opening.
Cliffhanger.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, well, in The Golden Compass, I don't know if you've ever seen that movie. It's like a kids movie.
Right.
It's
I
actually
feel like I've seen it because you're mad at this movie a lot.
because it's a fairly decent movie. Like as far as the fantasy world thing goes, it's got some interesting things. Like everyone in this world has a pet that's like attached to them, and it's their spirit basically. It's their soul. So if you grab the pet, you can essentially kill the person by killing the pet. It's an interesting premise alone, right? And everyone has different size animals. Like one person's got a bear. It's just crazy, right? Well, the whole movie's kind of interesting, and then they had this pseudo sort of battle at the end, but nothing really gets resolved. And then the movie's like, and then one day I will meet up with my uncle again, and we shall do this, and then onward to tomorrow, and then credits, and you're like, what the fuck just happened? Like, hold on a second. So I just sat through 2.5 hours of a movie where you're building this world, and you're telling me there's going to be this huge battle against Nicole Kidman between Daniel Craig and Nicole Kidman. It's going to be this huge battle. And then you get to the battle, and it's like a couple of bears and some people throwing spears or whatever the hell they did. And then credits? What?
That's
Like,
pretty blue balling.
it's ridiculous. Yeah. And then guess what? The movie was so shit because it didn't have a real ending. They didn't make a sequel. So you just have this stupid movie that exists that doesn't go anywhere. Kind of like The Warriors Way. Sorry. At least this movie was a complete movie without the ending. I mean, with the ending ignored, the movie was complete.
I would say at the sunset scene when he's walking away into the sunset
Credits.
That's
you
where
would have been fine.
That's where it
Yeah.
needed to go.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
that's where it should have ended.
I
Yeah.
agree. Well, it gets goofy with the fish, especially. Like when he kills the woman earlier on with the chopsticks. At least you're like, okay, you can kill somebody with chopsticks. I could see that. It could happen. Then you can kind of deal with that. When he kills a guy with a fish, I'm like, well, that's just stupid.
Yeah, but who
Like, that's
was
just
that
dumb.
lady?
She was another assassin.
She's just an assassin.
Oh, just an assassin. Oh,
She was a sad flute.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she just wasn't one in the thing in the whatever in the hats
The
and
garb,
stuff.
yeah.
But I want to point out, by the way, you're like they don't have that fish in that environment. We just saw like 100 people come out of nowhere and dive onto roofs.
Look, that scene,
Machine gun style.
all that scene was missing was after the guy got stabbed in the eye, him saying "Holy mackerel" and
You're
falling
right.
over.
No, I
That's
agree.
all that was missing.
Listen, I agree. They end on a sour note. I'm not saying that whatsoever.
Or they end on a sad flute.
So there was one segment that was the best segment in my opinion of the movie is when he's confronting his mentor towards at the end.
Yeah.
And then we'd see that flashback of his training, and the mentor says something about you have to kill what you
Oh, the
love,
dog. They had to
and-
kill the puppy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Best part of the movie.
That's the best part of the movie.
So
to me.
sad.
Yep.
So sad.
It's the,
I mean,
it's the
because-
best part of the movie.
Yeah, because he's alluding to you have to kill your mentor.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
And then that also follows up with the worst part of the movie.
what?
Which was
The actual fight between
Oh.
him and his mentor.
Yeah.
You know why? Because
don't
it
even see
made
it.
me think. No, you see it, but you know what I see? I see a medieval sword fight.
Yeah.
Oh, it is a
I
medieval
don't,
sword fight.
I don't see
I thought that
a
too.
ninja sword fight.
Yeah.
I
agree
see
with you.
two knights going ding, ding,
with like
ding.
two Excaliburs
Yep.
Yeah. No,
going
I
at
agree
it,
with
like
you.
very big, heavy swords. You know, they're just getting at it.
Broadswords.
Yeah,
Yeah.
No, I agree with you. See, okay, I'll be honest with you. As much as I hate Bosworth in this movie, the Lynn, I think was her name.
Yeah.
As much as I hate her because of Danny Houston, I barely even focus on Yang when I watch that movie. Like like the fight with the mentor or whatever. I didn't care. I was like, whatever. The guy's personality in this movie, the actor Dung Young Soon or whatever his name is so fucking boring.
I know.
I can't even follow it.
I didn't care about any of the characters.
See, Bosworth
the
I
only
did because
thing-
of Houston.
See, I didn't.
Okay.
I mean, it got lost.
Okay.
Like I cared about her then. I'm like, okay. Well, first of all, the actress that played her younger self, she didn't have red hair.
she had brown hair.
She had brown hair.
almost black hair.
So it
Yeah.
took me a couple
It's like, was that her?
to
I
realize
thought
that,
it was
okay,
her sister. The first time I saw it, I thought they killed her sister and like she was the baby.
Yes,
And then they killed the baby. I'm like, oh, it's not the baby.
Yeah, I thought she was the baby.
So
Yeah.
obviously it was confusing for a lot of people.
Well,
Yeah.
the first time through, especially, yeah. No, the reason why I'm saying this too is when Lynn goes there and she's dressed up as a hooker or whatever, and Danny Houston goes behind the partition, and he's back there kind of like stirring the water with his finger, and whenever she comes around to stab him, and he's got the gun pointed at her, I'm like, well played, well played, sir.
Yeah.
That's the part that I
That
like.
was a well played, yeah.
That part of the movie, I'm like, this is the best.
That also didn't have a round in the chamber.
It didn't.
Nope.
You could see right. You could see right
See,
through the
you
barrel.
just dropped your own score right
No,
there.
see, here's the thing too. I didn't pay that movie. I hate to say it any other way. It's like watching someone who doesn't know how to drive try and be like in NASCAR or something.
Yeah.
You can't focus on all the little shit. They're obviously not knowing. They don't know what they're doing. Just watch it and enjoy the carnage. I mean, just watch them go around in circles. Yeah, they're bumping into things. Fuck it. Who cares?
Enjoy it.
I
They
couldn't
don't
even
know what they're
enjoy,
doing
I couldn't even enjoy the carnage because of the slow motion blood.
Oh Jesus.
because
No,
it is a shit show.
There
I mean,
was
it's a
okay.
mess.
So one scene that really did catch my eye in a good light.
Yeah.
It was well, actually, when it was dark, in the top of the saloon in the hotel area.
Yes,
Where they were fighting
the sad flutes.
the sad flutes.
Yeah.
And you know how everything was dark.
Yep.
And then he came upstairs and everything was being flashed by the
Yes, the machine gun, the
machine
Gatling gun thing, yeah.
Yes, that was a really cool scene. I think they did that really well. With
That's the
like,
thing, they
with
did,
the
like-
strobe lights and stuff.
Yeah.
that was really cool.
They did pieces of like 50 things well, and then they had just horrible shit in between.
But I
You know
guess,
what I mean?
but I
It's
guess
really
Yang
weird.
didn't need his left ear because when the last dude was like, he had a revolver right up his head,
Yep.
and he shoots it, and then he moves his head, but the revolver is like right next to his left ear. I'm like, well, his eardrum's shot,
Yeah,
literally.
There's and so is the guy who remember the guy who gets the
Oh,
Gatling
yeah.
gun on his shoulder.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
this is gonna suck.
I noticed that too. I was like, is that guy dead? Or
I just assumed he was using a dead body as a.
No, I think he was
as a
deaf.
monopod.
I thought he was deaf. I think he was just a deaf dude.
Well,
'cause,
now
I mean,
he
Now
is.
he
yeah,
is,
exactly.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. It's anything with the Danny Houston stuff. Like he's so creepy in the movie, though. Like the
always is creepy in everything that he
Yeah.
does. He has that very weird, like pedophile type.
Well, and that's the thing.
Feel to
I have a weird thing about guys attacking women in movies now, especially like having a wife and a daughter and stuff.
Right.
I can't watch it and not.
It's very cringy.
It's very hard for me to watch. With that, I'm like, oh, I really fucking hate like the mentor guy, the main assassin, old guy. I don't really care. I'm like, okay, well, he wants to kill a baby. Lots of people want to kill babies. It's the 1890s apparently, but. Danny Houston going around raping just random people, and his fetish is fucking teeth. Yeah, I was about to say his fetish is, do you have
I won't
good
touch
teeth?
you unless you have really good teeth.
Well, and it's
think about it. He wants someone who's not disfigured.
One, it's a health thing. It's actually a health thing.
Well,
He's looking for healthy people, but it's just such a weird. It's weird, and when him and his buddies are holding her down on the bed, it's so hard for me to watch. But at the same time, I'm like, he pulls it off. He pulls off like I really think if Yang doesn't blow in through this window right now in sad flute style, she's getting raped. You know, and it's just rough, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think he stole the movie. I think he was. I think he was
for sure.
He was the main bad guy. He was the main antagonist. He kills fucking everybody in the town. The Sad Flutes had almost nobody left to kill because of the Colonel's men. I mean, they killed almost everybody else.
Yeah.
So.
True.
Anyway.
All right, so for the... Oh, go ahead.
One thing I do actually like about the movie.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is the costuming.
Oh, well,
Not necessarily Geoffrey Rush's whole attire.
His Quigley pants.
Yeah, his Quigley pants.
You know what? It was spot on Quigley.
It was.
That would be Quigley.
Look, I like Quigley Down Under, but it's the same type of movie, same level of movie in a lot of ways.
Trying to impersonate that.
Probably.
Go ahead, John.
What I liked was the fact that when Yang got into town, everybody was dressed in very drab, almost colorless colors.
Yeah.
But as the movie progressed, their costuming got brighter and brighter and brighter until the end fight scenes where they were just all
carnival workers.
Yeah, they were all, but yeah, they were all full color because it was almost
he did
like
their laundry.
Yeah, it was almost like he was in this
clean clothes.
depressed town. He comes upon this depressed town, and for some reason, this guy opening up a laundry and having a baby that's not his just kind of.
Well, he
raised the morale.
Yeah, he took over the laundromat just because his friend that he was trying to meet up with died.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But for some reason, that made everything brighter. And I know the laundry joke. So he did the laundry and it got colorful again.
Yeah, the moral of the story of this whole movie is...
is there a moral?
Yes.
Oh.
Do your laundry and you'll be happier.
Which apparently the original working title for this movie was Laundry Warrior. I shit you not.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, you got numbers.
I'd love to say they dodged a bullet, but let's be honest, it's
Oh.
about the same level of bad.
No,
the Warriors' way is not much better.
They chopped the bullet in half with their sword.
Yeah.
I think Warrior's Way is better for sure.
Yeah.
Than Laundry Warrior.
Yes.
But
Yeah. Because
to
it's
each
the
your own.
Warrior's way. But anyway, all right. So the budget for this movie.
I don't know, man. It's got Geoffrey Rush, Danny Houston, Kate Bosworth. I mean, Jesus Christ, it's not a small cast per se. They're just above B-list. Danny Houston is a good actor, but he's just above. I would say Geoffrey Rush would probably get the biggest paycheck there.
Probably.
Then you got Tony Cox though too. I don't want to forget him.
I forgot about him too. Well, this was the main actor Yang. This was his first movie.
Yeah, so he got
and
like
the director's first movie.
So he got like $50,000. Director got like
probably.
100. Geoffrey Rush cleared $4 million.
Do you want to start or
No, you guys go. I'm not gonna. I don't know.
30 million.
It's a good guess. There's a lot of CGI.
I'm trying to think of all the CGI stuff. Yeah.
I'm gonna say 15 million.
I'm gonna go higher. I'm gonna go 40.
Wow, it is at $42 million.
Wow.
Estimated.
You know why I went with it? Because I was thinking about when you said green screen CGI. I thought about all the green screen stuff, and we saw that picture of the green screen studio
in a studio,
and I'm like, just to rent that's a bitch. Yeah, I can only imagine because Avatar was like, we need the space.
All right,
excuse me, we're making an Avatar 5.
I'm going to skip the opening weekend in USA and the gross USA. It just skipped to the cumulative worldwide gross. Did this thing make its money back?
No, it can't.
Don't say can't, man. Don't ever say can't.
I mean, I'm trying to think. This was 2010, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to.
It was released December 5th, 2010.
I think it was the first time I ever heard of this movie.
Yeah.
When you brought it up.
Yep. I'm gonna say it did make its money back. I'm gonna say it made $48 million worldwide.
Okay. Maybe higher in the anime world.
I'm thinking
maybe.
Japan and China in particular.
Oh, that they
Gotcha.
helped it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
possible.
Because the Chinese does like westerns.
Yep.
Or do like westerns.
Yeah, 20 million.
Okay. John?
Damn you.
Oh, gonna take it.
Go high or go low?
18. I'm gonna go 18 million.
18. All right, John's the closest.
Oh, is he?
At
Okay.
$11.1 million.
Wow.
Cow.
Wow. Not good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So opening weekend actually got a whopping $3 million. And gross USA got $5.6 million.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So again, worldwide gross was $11.1 million.
I have a feeling those people who saw it in the theaters on opening weekend talked.
Yeah. They
Well,
talk.
and
Yeah.
as we already pointed out, the director didn't do another movie. So the studio went, no.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
lost
that-
way too much money on that.
That was a bust.
Yeah.
For sure. I was trying to figure out the who was the studio.
Oh, that's a good question.
No clue.
I don't recall it being a famous studio. I think they were more independent, but
Yeah,
could be wrong.
Go ahead and I'll look it up.
yeah. So we'll look at the scores here for Rotten Tomatoes. Let's start with the audience.
Okay. I'll say so. Audience score, Rotten Tomatoes. I'm gonna go 38%.
Good guess. John?
40.
I'm going to go lower. I'm going to say 27.
47. So y'all were low.
Who you were closest?
I was 38.
Yeah.
So what was it?
47.
47%. Wow.
Yeah.
47%.
I said 40. That's okay.
Oh yeah.
Oh, did
yeah,
you?
That's right. You did say 40.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Did you say 40?
I did.
What did you say?
38.
Oh, okay. So John was closest.
Yeah.
Critic
So what about
score?
critics? Yeah.
That I still think low on this. I'm going to say 21.
I'll go with my original 38%.
10.
Oh, damn.
31.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
What you were closest?
Yeah,
Yeah.
38. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Well,
crazy.
let's deliver our Warrior Way judgment.
Yeah. Eddie,
Eddie, if you would like to start.
you're up, dude.
So, okay, I want to be clear on something real fast. The reason why I picked this again was because to me it's an offbeat Western. It's not the obvious Western.
That's true.
It's
Yeah.
not the one that when people go, "Oh, you picked a Western. What'd you pick? Like Good, Bad, and the Ugly, or whatever." You know?
Yeah, it's
Right.
not your
It's
your
not
cookie cutter.
the
Western,
same
yeah.
ones. Yeah. That being said, it does not make this movie a good movie. It's got some interesting stuff that they do that I like. It's got a whole lot that I don't. And I do think that Danny Houston again. I actually just his character alone is pretty much what I'm giving the score right now.
I can buy that.
Yeah, that and the few shots that I like the rapid fire ninjas coming out of midair thing across the roof. I like that shot, and a couple other small ones, but that's pretty much it. So I'm gonna give this one a 1.8.
Okay.
Okay, 1.8 for Eddie.
Yep.
Kyle?
All right. So, I overall, the movie just didn't keep me 100% interested. Mm-hmm. I like John said earlier, the character. I didn't actually have a care in the world for these characters here. I just nothing was written to make me feel any care for them except for Lynn.
Yeah, with the rape stuff.
With the rape stuff, yeah.
yeah.
And it's like, oh man, that kind of sucks, but it's like moving on.
Yeah.
Type thing. But yeah, the ending, it just made me think of Mandalorian. It was pretty funny, but overall, I'm gonna give this a 2.1.
Okay, 2.1 for Kyle. So I think I'm in the boat with you. Like Danny Houston, like I said earlier, he just stole every scene that he was in for me.
Yeah.
And I just enjoyed his character a lot.
I have a weird question for you real fast. Did it seem like he was giving a seminar to anybody else? Like
which part?
Like it seemed like it was a bunch of amateur actors there to see Danny Houston act, and like he's in every scene. Like, so I know you guys don't know how to do it. Here's how you do it. Everyone watch, and they just fucking watch him. Like everyone's just watching everything that he does in every scene. I'm like, he's just doing a seminar. Like he's doing a workshop right now.
And then and Geoffrey Rush is just off in the corner drunk.
I'm better than you in so many ways.
Wow.
That's why Danny Houston had him drugged behind a horse
There you go.
across the desert.
That wasn't in the script.
Schmung Lee's like, hey, this is great. Do it again.
Italian?
I don't know. You tell me where Schmong Lee is from.
Korea.
Probably. Go ahead.
And then John, yeah, I agree with you. Like the costuming is pretty cool in
Yeah.
this. Like I do like the sad flute, gi or whatever their outfit is. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Some of the cinematography, like Kyle was saying, but the hallway with the flashing epileptic lights, all that. So I'm gonna give it a 2, and I think that's being pretty good.
Me too. Yeah, I agree.
So John,
Ditto to everything you guys said. To me, this is a popcorn movie at its worst.
At its worst.
At its worst. This is a movie that you took your kid to, and you let him put the butter on the popcorn, and he put too much on there, and it just became a soggy mess. That's what this movie is.
Ouch.
Well, I agree in a way because it's like it couldn't decide if it was going to be an art movie or if it was going to be an action movie. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Right.
I kind of agree with you. Yeah.
And
had they been more arty, I think they would have been successful, or leave the art and go more action.
exactly,
Maybe.
Yeah, I agree with
exactly. So if you've seen the film, I'm sorry.
well then they know what we're talking about.
If you haven't seen the film, don't.
Hopefully this was entertaining to you guys.
And based on that, I am going to give this film, for lack of a better name, a 2.
2.
Okay.
That's like a 1.9.
It has to be, yeah.
So that is that's a 1.975.
Oh,
So
that's a
I'm gonna
2,
move
actually.
it to 2.
Yeah.
Then.
Okay.
So straight up 2 for the Warriors.
I bumped
Way.
it up for you there.
Apparently, yeah.
I got the highest score of the night. Thank you
Want to
very
point
much.
out, by the way,
2.1.
even on my own movie, I'm the fucking lowest score. It's fine.
That is actually very true.
No,
Yep.
I did not pick it. I picked it because it was off the beaten track,
Right.
not because
Yeah.
it was amazing.
Which
And
that's sorry. I was just gonna say
yeah.
that's one of the things I like about doing this podcast is because see, I would never have watched this movie.
Yeah,
Me-
Judging by
Me
the
neither.
trailer,
yeah.
never. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah. Oh, the movie production company was Relativity Media.
That's right, Relativity. Okay,
And it was distributed by Rogue.
and Rogue. Okay, so they're not huge, but they are known.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, didn't Rogue do the Saw franchise?
No, that was Lionsgate.
I think it was Rogue too, though. I could be wrong.
Rogue did Hot Fuzz.
Which is excellent. I love
Yeah.
Hot
Yeah.
Fuzz.
Hot Fuzz
Well,
is pretty funny.
this is all just distribution stuff. They distributed it. So
Gotcha.
yeah.
So the only thing left to do is to spin the wheel, but we don't
need
have
to.
to do that
Yep.
because I'm last.
It's you.
And
Let's see what your sci-fi is going to be.
yeah, I got sci-fi.
Sci-fi. Justin.
So I was thinking about this,
Uh-huh.
and going off of what I just said a couple minutes ago, is like one of the reasons I like this podcast is I get to watch movies I don't typically see. So I was looking around trying to find a sci-fi movie. I came across one that I've never heard of.
Challenge accepted.
Oh
Let's hear
dear.
Yeah, you've probably seen it. It's from 2013. It's called The Congress.
it. Okay. I don't think so.
Yeah, so one of the things that drew me to this was the cast list. So it stars Robin Wright, Harvey Keitel, John Hamm, Danny Houston,
Oh,
Yeah. Another Danny Houston.
yeah, Paul Giamatti,
Oh dear.
and a couple other people. But it's weirdly listed in IMDb as an animation drama sci-fi. So you have to watch the trailer to see what I'm talking about.
You got a little synopsis for us?
Yeah, the synopsis is an aging out-of-work actress accepts one last job, though the consequences of her decision affect her in ways she didn't consider. And if you watch the trailer, I'm not giving anything away, well, again, because I've never seen it. I haven't seen it yet.
Right.
But it's Robin Wright plays herself, and she lets this production company clone her self-image and her consciousness to be able to use in future productions. So I figured, what a fitting way to kind of almost end our season, with than a movie that's based around the film industry.
Yeah,
No,
true.
sure.
Yeah.
And everybody, even today, has thought about just CGIing everybody in a database, and it's like, oh, I need Geoffrey Rush. Boop, here he is. And he's
And you move a slider, it says how drunk he is.
Yeah, exactly. You can control his emotions. You can make him cry in an instant. You have that ability to do that instead of actually hiring actors. You could just hire their digital counterparts.
Yeah. So again, that is the Congress from 2013. You can go to realgood.com. That's REEL good.com. Look it up, and you can see all the places that it's streaming, or you can rent it, or you can purchase it, and whatnot. This is also you only got one more week to submit your entries for the season 1 wrap-up show that we're going to be doing. If you just go to our subreddit page or our Facebook page or whatever, you can submit your 3 entries. And then we will randomly choose one of the entries, and we'll do a review on it. And if you're one of the lucky person that we choose, you can get a free Screen Riot t-shirt.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, thanks from Screen Riot, and I guess we're out.
Yep. See you guys.
Absolutely.
See ya.
Later.